Hey guys, this is question MM134 of the Maths Methods Fortify study guide. Now we've got this question with the function g of x equals 3 plus 2 sine of 2 pi x over 3, where g is just in all real numbers. The domain is all real numbers. And we're looking for the range and the period of this function. So our range is equal to our minimum to our maximum. They're the only possible values of y, or g of x. So our minimum is equal to our midpoint minus our amplitude. So our min is equal to 3, because this is our midpoint, minus 2, which equals to 1. That's our minimum. And our maximum is equal to our midpoint plus our amplitude. So 3 plus 2, which is equal to 5. If our minimum is 1 and our maximum is 5, that means that the range of g of x is equal to 1 to 5. And that is your first mark, your range, 1 to 5. And we also need to find the period, which means we're going to use our regular sine period equation. The period of a sine graph is equal to 2 pi over b, where b is our coefficient of x. In this case, our coefficient of x is 2 pi over 3, which means we're going to get 2 pi over 2 pi over 3. This little guy comes up here to multiply, which means we get 6 pi over 2 pi, which gives us 3. So our range is 1 to 5, that's our first mark, and our period is 3, that's our second mark. Hit me up if you have any questions about that, but let's just move straight on to part B, which actually is just completely separate to part A, doesn't really have anything to do with it, but this will actually happen quite often in exams. You'll get a question that is just kind of separate separate parts. So we've got this equation, cos of 2x take pi on 6 equals 1 on 2. We're trying to solve this for x is an element of 0 to pi. So as always, we need to find our base angle. So from here, we know that because we have nothing on this side, we can go straight into cos inverse of 1/2 is equal to 2x minus pi on 6. So our angle is equal to the inverse cos of 1/2, and that's your first mark there. So this is a 2-mark question, and that's your first mark right there. So what we're going to do from here is, we know that x is between 0 and pi, which means that 2x is between 0 and 2 pi. So because cos inverse of 1/2 is equal to pi on 3, that means that our base angle is pi on 3. So in our unit circle, our base angle here, that's pi on 3. Awesome. Now cos is positive in the first and the fourth quadrant, which means that we need to get our two answers here and here, because they're the positive versions, which means that our angle 2x take pi on 6 is equal to pi on 3, because that's our first answer there, and 2 pi minus pi on 3, because this is our pi on 3 here, and we need to get this angle over here. So 2 pi minus pi on 3, which means we get pi on 3 and 5 pi on 3. So this is equal to 2x take pi on 6, keeping in mind. Awesome. Just coming up here, guys. Where we go from here is we get 2x equals pi on 2, and 2x equals 11 pi on 6. So all I've done is just add pi on 6 to both of these answers here. Solving for x by dividing both sides by 2, we get x equals pi on 4, and x equals 11 pi over 12. This is your second mark, guys. Please make sure that you have both of these answers. If you don't have both of these answers, you've done something wrong. But the easiest way to do it is to just follow this formula where you change the domain to get it into 2 pi according to what this angle is, find the base angle, and then go from there. Guys, if you have any questions about this, please hit me up. But otherwise, have an awesome day.